Hey there, Inkling. This video is pulled from one of my Twitch streams. So if you ever want to join me live, I'm there Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. CST. The link is in the description. For now, let's turn the page and start the chapter. Hear it. I can hear it. Looks like you guys can hear it. Looks like you guys can hear me. Fantastic. Amazing. And we're in the right category. Okay. I know absolutely nothing about this demo other than you play as an empress. There's lots of character creation. Character customization. And you can date like your advisors. I don't know how long it is, but we'll be here at least for an hour. Okay? Okay. We're going to do English because I don't know French. English language. Clicked it. Okay. All right, let's do some set. Oh. Okay, thank you for the reminder. I have water that I sip from. Okay, apparently, look at this, guys. Apparently, there's a suggestive scene. Ooh, I doubt we get to it, but I'll fade to black because, damn, does that mean that you can just, like, it's there in the, Interesting. Can't be shown on Twitch, of course, because Twitch is Twitch. Remove flash of light. What is that? Yes, please remove the shaking screen. It looks like all the sound is good. Music. Okay, great. Mute the game. Why would I do that? Okay. And then we have text. Oh, hell no. I'd rather it just come out. Text size. Oh, okay. How's that, guys? I can pull it all the way up. I don't care. Listen. Simple. That is better. I do appreciate all these options. I don't know what this means. I'm gonna leave that the way it is. Increase contrast. Oh, even better. Wow, that's really good. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah. Okay, then we have extra. So there's maps. Oh, there's like character stuff. Features not available in the demo. The only thing that's available is the credits. Okay, that's fair. All right, let's go start. New game. This game is intended for a mature audience. It contains many themes that could offend the sensitivity of younger players. This is an 18+ game, guys. I'm an 18+ streamer, so if you are, for whatever reason, watching me and you are not 18 years or older, please leave. The complete list of trigger warnings is available on our store page. There are triggers in this game? Bro, where is this game? What? Hello? Okay, hold up. Trigger warnings, they say. The dark romance girly in me just sat all the way up. Okay, let's see. Trigger warnings. I don't see a list. All it says is this game is intended for a mature audience. It tackles several forms of fantasy violence common in medieval times, assassination, disease, war, sexism, etc. I don't see no fucking trigger warnings. Were those the trigger warnings? I'm unimpressed. You are going to play a demo version of the game, thus the content might be subject to change, and some features may be missing, such as the diplomacy feature. Oh yeah, so once you, I guess, like, assume the throne or whatever, you can make, you get resources, you spend the resources, and your country changes. Show me some tips. Click anywhere on the screen to progress in the story. Use your mouse wheel to go back, even after a choice. Ooh. Fasten the text display and set, and you can quicken the text. I think quicken would have been a better word here. Or even you can speed up the text display in settings. Fasten is an interesting word. Several accessibility features are available in the options for your gaming comfort, especially if you are dyslexic, photosensitive, or epileptic, so don't hesitate to check the corresponding functions. You can check your resources from the extra menu at any time. Have fun. Okay, let's do... Let's just do normal mode. You'll need to spend your resources carefully. I don't think the resources thing is in the game yet, though. But we can just do normal mode. Okay, so we're gonna change our name. This is our background, I think. Blessed by Basin. You have loved fighting since you were a child. Although you are not allowed on the battlefield, you are in excellent physical shape, and your swordsmanship rivals that of a man. Ooh. And then I get a starting bonus to my army. Or I can be blessed by Amatera. When you were younger, you almost became a scholar. Your love of reading and learning has given you knowledge in many fields, including astronomy, theology, and botany. Okay, sorry, we might have to do this one. And then I get a starting bonus in religion. Blessed by Horel. You have mastered the art of diplomacy and eloquence. You can improvise... Oh, this should definitely be a period. You can improvise inspiring speeches in an instant, and you know the first names of every noble over 3 generations. Starting bonus in influence. Blessed by Miridae. Numbers and resource management hold no secrets for you, and you have excellent relations with merchants, are good at mental arithmetic, and know all the subtleties of tithes and other taxes, not only from Chaldea, but also from your neighbors. This is a very long sentence. Starting bonus is money. Well, I want to do this one. Hello? Yes. And we'll change her name later. Okay. So she can be darker. Bro, I can zoom in? Really? Oh. How far can I zoom in? Oh, I can zoom in far. Bro, I can zoom in so far. Okay, that's it. That's far though. Wow. I like those beauty marks and freckles. Yes. And then, I have to zoom in again. The hair type, contrary to the hairstyle, cannot be modified during the game and will be taken into account during illustrations. CG. The hair type? I'm not sure uh-oh. Come back, girl. Oh, where'd you come back? Sorry. I was zoomed too far in. Okay. So there are straight options. So there's like this one. Her hair is very long. There are wavy options. Ooh, that braid though. That long braid. I need to get art with like a long ponytail braid. Ooh, but the curls. Oh, it makes her look older too. And then there's dreads. I'm sorry, but I just have to, right? Like, hello? Yeah. Oh, for sure. Oh God. Oh no. Stop. What happened? Oh, maybe I'm saving it. Okay, I'll just save it. We'll just call this demo 1. Demo 1. I don't know what I clicked, but okay. So we said, okay, we still have to do her name. Oh, she can have, you know what? We'll probably just name her Asteria. No, I don't want to name her Asteria because she's not, her eyes need to be lighter than that. Oh, you can't really get super light ones. Okay, so, or we could just do a color. Interesting. Huh. Do we want her to have like weird color eyeballs? How about these blue? That blue's pretty. That's good blue. Okay, how do I do her hair color? Wait, I don't get to choose her hair color? Oh, maybe I don't get to choose her hair color. Oh, alright. Okay, then her name's gonna be... what is her name gonna be? It can be Aurora. Do we like Aurora? Aurora, nope. Elaine, we can do Elaine. Lady Elaine, E-L-A-Y-N-E. Oh, I'm still on caps. Lady Elaine. Confirm. Customization. Ooh. Customization on this screen will not be reflected in the illustrations. The match option adapts your outfit to the illustration, not the other way around. Switch outfit to match illustration. I'm very confused, but okay. Oh, so this is just changing her hair. Okay. No, I want her formal hair to also be this. For sure. That did not save. It did not save. Okay. And then maybe oh, and then, oh, this is, oh, interesting. Okay, okay. Well, then maybe her casual is this one instead. That still looks like, no, this is her casual. Yeah. I kind of want these, but I don't know where to put these. Unless this is her formal. No, I like this being her formal instead. Alright, we'll just go with this. God have mercy. Who knew I'd spend fucking, I don't even know how long in character creation for a visual novel. Prologue. Okay, here we go. Your Grace, Your Grace. A panicked voice resonated in my dream like an echo. A few moments before I understood that it came from somewhere else, and I woke up with a jolt, disoriented. The palpable feeling of urgency had immediately brought me to my senses, but it still took me a few seconds to recognize the advisor's voice, as well as the room I was in. Alden, what's going on? Oh, my name is Elaine D. Terrenfell. Your Highness, I bring terrible news. Your father was assassinated last night. I was ready to hear just about anything. Managing crises was an important part of royalty, after all, and yet I was completely stunned by the news. My father was dead at the hands of an assassin, just a few rooms away from me. All the implications from this revelation bounced through my head, drenched in doubt and fear concerning my own safety and the future of the realm of Chaldeia. I beg your pardon, Your Highness. I was too late. Pulling myself out of my lethargy, I looked down on Alexander, who knelt next to the bed, his head bent low, as if the weight of his shame stopped him from getting up. Whatever went down, I knew he had nothing to be ashamed of. This is a very modern sentence. This part especially, whatever went down, like, When I was just a child, I already admired his talents, and they grew steadfast with age and the position of general. His presence here was a relief. I didn't know the assassination's full intentions, but even if they were after me, as long as Alexander was by my side, I didn't have anything to worry about. Don't put yourself down like this. You aren't responsible for what happened. We'll bring the regicide to justice. Still mortified, Alexander stayed on his knees. I could see his fingers twitch a little, proof he wasn't completely convinced, but he nodded his approval all the same, transported by the firmness of my voice. As for me, now that I had said it aloud, I felt that the information had settled in my mind, and I finally accepted it as truth, with a full understanding of the situation. That was a very heavy sentence. My father, Magnus V, Emperor of Chaldea, was dead. Many would have broken down after hearing such news, but for years now, I hadn't held an ounce of affection for him. His death was actually good news to me. It marked the beginning of a new era, a better one, I hoped. An era for which I'd been preparing ever since I realized that this was my destiny. I was to succeed him. I was to become the Empress. But it wasn't yet time for celebration. Although I was the legitimate heir to the throne, I had plenty of detractors, and I still needed to figure out why the assassination had taken place. I had many questions about the killer's identity and motivations. I was lost in thought, and it took me a while to realize that Alden and Alexander were staring at me, worried, surely waiting for a reaction or a declaration from me. Both had known me since my early childhood. They knew the enmity I felt for the Emperor, and I trusted them enough to set all pretense aside. But it was, perhaps, a bit inappropriate to rejoice over my future title while my father's dead corpse was still warm. After taking a deep breath, I threw off my covers and got up, eyeing them. Pretend to be sad. I straightened up, faltering, my hand over my heart, and I put on my most pained and saddened expression. Oh, face. It should be expression. Guys. Put on my most pained and saddened face to declare in a trembling voice, the loss of my father is a terrible tragedy. I still have trouble accepting it. Still have trouble. You just learned about it. So yes, okay. My performance was exemplary. I was quite proud of the slight tremors in my speech, but it seemed Alden wasn't entirely convinced. He scoffed. Come on, Your Grace, keep your sad orphan tears for the court. Even if your little performance is quite convincing and will work wonders on the masses, it doesn't fool anyone in this room. I know fairly well what you felt for your father, and you never seemed the kind of person who would be this sensitive. You have your head screwed on right, which is a part of you that I admire. I sighed inwardly at being so easily exposed, but I politely kept on my smile. You're right. His death doesn't mean much to me, but as you said, I can't very well display my indifference before the court. I might as well practice now. Well, at present, ensuring the kingdom's stability is our top priority. I'm counting on you to protect and serve me. This won't be an easy task, but I'm sure we can accomplish great things. This time, Alexander got up, putting his hand on his sheath in a dignified and military posture. At your service, Highness. May the four witness my oath. I solemnly swear that I will protect you until my dying breath. Emphatic, he bowed down before lifting his eyes up to me. I smiled and accepted his allegiance with a certain poise, despite my unkempt hair and nightgown. Marjorie, my tutor, often told me that everything about me showed nobility, that I didn't need any props to act like an empress. Today, I understood what she meant. Alden, however, didn't seem to share the general's fervor. Forgive me, Your Majesty, for tarnishing your enthusiasm, but there is a very delicate question that I have to ask. Have you had your father killed? His abrupt question threw me off, and I stared at him, wavering between surprise and indignation. How dare you even suggest such a possibility? You're going too far, advisor. Come on, don't be offended. You said it yourself. You've hated your father since the death of your brother. You've always held him responsible for it. And your father dies on the very day of your return to the palace? Whatever your answer is, I'll accept it, but I need to know. I felt anger rise within me at these words, and I walked... Ow. I almost bit my tongue. What the fuck? And I walked to the window to breathe some fresh air. After I took a few deep After I took a few deep inhales, I finally turned around to face him and gave him my answer in a firm voice. On the one hand, my presence here isn't a coincidence. The Emperor celebrates, or rather was about to celebrate, his birthday in 2 days. Half of the Empire's noblemen are here. It's undeniable that the event presented the perfect opportunity to strike. The palace is swarming with unknown guards and servants. It's much harder to provide security in these circumstances. Exactly. On the other hand, your suspicions are an insult to my intelligence advisor. After a regicide, the heir is always suspected. If I had really wanted to speed up fate, you better believe I would have been smarter about it. Marjorie taught me the rules of the game. I would never risk losing everything in such a foolish way. I know my ascension to the throne will already be difficult because I'm a woman. I'll state it plainly if I can relieve your doubts, but listen closely because I will not repeat myself. No, I did not have my father assassinated. My eyes trained on him. I crossed my arms, almost daring him to contradict me as I kept a lid on my fury. Alden seemed to gauge me for a moment, then nodded in assent and apology. Please forgive me, Your Grace. As soon as possible, I'll alert the Master of Murmurs, and we'll launch an investigation to uncover the truth and bring justice to your father. I would have preferred more vivid regrets, but under the circumstances, this was enough, and I felt my anger slowly fade away. I accept your apology. Let's not speak of this again. There are more urgent things to do. The news will, no doubt, make quite a commotion. You've asked us to swear allegiance to you. I assume you will try to claim your rightful place as heir, Your Grace? Yes, it's my destiny. I heaved a deep sigh and mustered all my determination to answer him without leaving any doubts as to my intentions. I realized a while ago that this was my destiny. Whether I like it or not, I don't really have a choice, and I'm not one to do things half-heartedly. I know there are many people in the direct line of succession, but if you truly don't want to, I believe one of your bastard brothers would do the trick. You know full well that my cousins would covet the position. This would mean the start of a succession war that would drown the kingdom in fire and blood. Even if by some miracle the nobility came out in favor of one of my half-brothers, there's no guarantee that it would all go well. They know nothing of politics. They'd be nothing more than puppets, or even worse, incompetents. By birth, I have a responsibility to the people of this country, and I don't intend to shirk it. In any case, even if I were to retire to my estate and manage it, I would still be a potential threat to their reign. I'll never be safe, even if I were to completely relinquish my right to the throne. There's no doubt about it. I have to be the next empress. Only time will tell, but I think I am the best possible choice under the circumstances. I don't doubt that, Your Grace. In fact, I'm rather relieved to see that you have already thought about it. Like you said, our like you said, our country needs stability. We can't get away with a weak-willed monarch on the throne. I'm sure you'll be wonderful. I'm sure you'll be a wonderful empress, Elaine. That's very familiar of you, Alexander. Why did you shove the other guy out of the way? His words were barely a whisper, but I was sure of what I had heard, and I felt my cheeks redden a little. He seemed embarrassed by his own boldness and blushed more violently than me, while I flashed him a smile to reassure him. It had been years since I had last heard him call me by my name. Even if I had no doubts about my own abilities, it was always refreshing to see the trust he gave me. I cleared my throat and regained my composure so I could give my orders. This would be a long night. Who else knows about the assassination, for now? Alexander seemed surprised by my question and frowned a bit while searching his mind. When I found the body, I immediately went to warn the advisor, and both of us rushed to see you. The only ones who know about it are the guards who were patrolling with me and your father's personal maid, who was passing by. We knew it would be bad to attract attention, so I had her discreetly sent to the dungeon for interrogation. How about the guards who were stationed before my father's door? Both are dead. I also had their corpses taken to the dungeon for examination. I paced the room, lost deep in thought. You've done well. Now we have to keep it all a secret. It's imperative that no one else hears about it. Oh God, is he gonna double cross me for real? Like, brother, what? Oh, did he already tell somebody? No, he couldn't have, because Alexander went to this bro and they both came to me. Why does his face look like that though? Huh? Why he look like that? Why does he look like that? Why do you look like that? Your Grace, this won't be an easy secret to keep. Obviously, we won't be able to do that forever. I only need a few days, so I can stay ahead of my detractors. Alden looked thoughtful for a few moments. Then he nodded. I see. So you want to act before everyone else, which should give you the upper hand. Exactly. Very smart. I have no doubt that some people will want to take advantage of the situation. Even if you are unquestionably the rightful heir, your place will be fraught, or not fraught, there's no R. Your place will be fought over. But if you don't give them time to react, that could make things a great deal easier. That's what I was thinking too. I'd love it if the situation was more straightforward, but this is a little white lie, and the alternative is the chaos of a wildly disputed succession. Alden nodded, and I continued developing the rest of my plan. In the meantime, pretend that His Majesty is not feeling well, and investigate discreetly. I see. I'll order my men to stay silent. I'll also ensure that they haven't said a word so far. About that, it may be wiser to ensure that they can't talk at all. Bro, we are not killing them. We are not killing them. We are not killing them. Low-grade staff is known for gossiping, even the guards. My men are trustworthy. They would never disobey. Would you be willing to bet on that if it could jeopardize the plans of your new empress, to whom you have only just sworn allegiance? And that maid, can you also guarantee she'll keep quiet? His teeth clenched, his hand gripping the hilt of his sword. Alexander shook his head. The weight of Alden's words had also fallen heavily on my shoulders, and I observed both men while contemplating my next steps. This decision is yours to make, Your Grace, but I strongly advise you to silence them for good. Alden was right. The most effective way to ensure someone stayed quiet was to have them killed. However, there could be other alternatives to consider. Such a decision couldn't be taken lightly, because whatever I decided, I couldn't afford to regret it. Oh boy, okay. I don't want to kill them. So, A, not happening. Nope, not happening. Okay, B, ensure their loyalty by promising them a much better position once I'm crowned. Even if they were really tempted to talk about what happened, this should be a good enough motivation to ensure their allegiance. That doesn't sound super strong. I think we have to just pay them off. When you explain to them that they mustn't say a word, give them a few coins and promise them more once the secret has been revealed. And in the meantime, send them on vacation far from here. That should be enough to guarantee their silence. Ooh, but if we pay them and then send them away, what if they talk to people wherever they go? And then, sure, it didn't happen in the kingdom, but it happened like outside the kingdom, and then it's going to trickle back into the kingdom, and we can't control that. Fuck. Honestly, the only way we can control it is if we kill them. Because, what do they say? Dead men tell no tales? Oh, God. I don't know. But I don't want to kill them. We have to just pay them off. Because this is not, oh, yes, when I get crowned, you're going to get a better position. No, there's no way. I have to give them something tangible or materialistic that, like, incentivizes them to just shut the fuck up. And money should do that. Okay, we're gonna do this. This makes the most sense because you can control the narrative so much better if they're just not around anymore. But I don't want to do that, so we're doing this. You have to go pee pee. It's not time for break yet, baby. We have a break in like 30 minutes, okay? Then I can take it out. Okay? My dog was like, hey, Ma, I'm here. Alright, we're gonna pay him off. If there was something that Marjorie had taught me, it was the power of money. I was convinced that a few shiny coins were enough to silence them. Applying extreme methods wouldn't be necessary. With all due respect, Your Grace, my guards won't let themselves be corrupted so easily. It's not about corruption. It's rather about compensating them for their loyalty. It's just a matter of wording things correctly. Well, if you put it that way. In any case, it's much better than what the advisor suggested. Alden wasn't used to opposing decisions too openly, and he merely shrugged. I'm fine with that. I have more reservations than you do about the integrity of your guards, but that's an acceptable compromise. Time will tell if we were right. I'll go inform them. You'll see, Your Grace. You've made the right decision. Without further ado, he bowed once more and left the room with a heavy step. Alden seemed to be lost in thought for a moment, giving me time to come to my senses before he bowed down in turn. I must at least inform the Master of Murmurs of the situation, so that we may launch an investigation. I nodded, aware of our lead spy's discretion as well as his efficiency. Once that is done, I'll come to you to plan the rest of your ascent. Once more, I nodded in approval, glad to be offered a little interlude that would allow me to gather my thoughts. And to dress decently while I was at it. After all, even if the coronation hadn't taken place yet, deep within me, I knew it. I felt it. I was the Empress. Ooh, okay. I was about to say, if that's like the end of the demo, I'm going to be so upset. Wait, day 8. What happened to day 1, bro? Okay, let me take my dog out real fast because he's starting to do the whimper, like I need to really go use the bathroom, and he hasn't done that since he was a puppy. So let me go take him out. I'm gonna run an ad break real fast, and then we'll come back and we'll play through chapter 1. Or we'll play as far as the demo allows us to play. Or until 12:30, whichever kind of comes first. Okay, BRB. Okay, where were we? It's been 8 days apparently. 8 days. Maybe I've been depressed. Maybe this is like that part of Twilight where there literally it's just like the name of months. I think it's like 6 months or some stupid shit. Stephanie Meyer didn't write a word for I think 6 pages. It's just the name of every month to signify Bella Swan's depression. Whatever. Okay, here we go. The sun had now been up for a few hours, promising a beautiful day, but I knew I wouldn't be able to appreciate it. Now that the rush of adrenaline from the news had passed, all I had left were doubts on the days to come, which were going to be exhilarating as much as terrifying. Oh, does that work? No, it doesn't. Okay, I thought I could just like up, down, but it doesn't work. I was gambling my future along with Calladay's, and that was a big deal. I had spent the past few hours readying myself and refining the details of my plan to appease my latent nervousness as best I could, but that didn't help me shake off my main preoccupation, the servants. Like Alden had said, I had made a risky decision, and I had been torturing myself for hours, wondering if it was worth it. I was restless when I heard the knock, and I leapt to the door, opening it for Alden and letting him in. There, Your Grace, we have followed your orders. I hadn't seen that he was accompanied by the Master of Murmurs, who came in after him. A slight discomfort washed over me. His role inside the palace was vital, but since I was a child, I had been terrified of his hidden face and the mysterious aura that surrounded him. Nevertheless, my discomfort turned into amazement when I saw him remove his hood as if it were nothing and turn to face me. My brain had pictured the worst for years, and it was very unsettling to finally be able to put a face to that man. I realized he wasn't as monstrous as I had imagined. In fact, I was so shocked that it made me forget the reason for my visitor's presence, which seemed to greatly amuse the Master of Murmurs. "Is there a problem, Your Grace?" "Oh, it's just, I didn't know that you could show your face. To be honest, I do what I want, but in principle, I only remove my hood in the presence of my sovereign and their close collaborators. Though I like to entertain the mystery and anonymity that comes with the job, it would be far too dangerous for me to never reveal my face. Some people might use that to usurp my identity." I see. Though it was disconcerting, it was also rather reassuring to see that a man as important as the Master of Murmurs already acknowledged me as his sovereign. Alden cleared his throat to recall me to my duty, and I suddenly remembered the reason for the two men's presence, which immediately made my anxiety flare up. To keep myself from staring at the master spy, I faced the advisor and fully focused on him. Did everything go well? My anxiety must have been conspicuous? My anxiety must have been conspicuous, even if I was doing my best to put on a confident expression. But doesn't conspicuous mean like you can't see it? Conspicuous. Oh no, okay. Conspicuous refers to something or someone that is very easy to see. Gotcha. Okay, wonderful. The servants seemed convinced by your offer. They left the palace without complaining, so I suppose we can count that as a win. I thought we were sending the guards off, not the servants. We sent servants off too? I thought it was just 2 guards. Despite all that, it's still a bit early to be sure of it. Despite all that, it's still a bit early to be sure of anything. I gave the Master of Murmurs and Alexander the task of keeping a close eye on the situation. The Master of Murmurs slowly nodded in assent. We'll know more tomorrow, but for the time being, there's nothing more to report. I lifted my eyes to meet my advisors and flashed Alden a reassuring smile. Clearly, he read my emotions better than I had thought, and I couldn't allow myself to visibly waver at such a critical time. I know that, and what's done is done. Now we must focus on the future. Bring the High Priest to the council room. I need him to contact the Quadrator? What the fuck's that? Quadrator? Robert is a pious man. Are you sure it's a good idea to confide in him? Everyone likes to think the devout never lie, but one doesn't obtain a place like his without cheating a little. I admit that the idea of lying to him came to me for a fleeting moment, but to fool him would be a complex task, and I'll be needing his support when the time comes. The people put great stock in the faith of men. Oh, the people put great stock in men of faith. Very well, Your Majesty. Will that be all? Yes, thank you. Okay, this is the same day. So, I wonder if we sent the guards off and then there was another incident that happened and we had to send servants off too. So I wonder if that means, and this is probably just for the demo, I wonder if that means if we would have decided to kill the guards, would the other servants have also been killed like on day 8? Just for like the purposes of the demo, you know? I wonder. Or I wonder if it's just guards. If it's just like, if it's supposed to be guards, but they wrote servants. I don't know. You summoned me, Your Grace? Yes, thank you for coming, Robert. I gestured for him to sit down while I settled behind my father's imposing desk. Like I had predicted, my behavior made him lift a curious brow, but I pretended not to notice it. I won't beat around the bush. My father, the Emperor, died during the night. During the night a week ago, girl. Like, he ain't just dead. He been dead for a whole ass week. Clearly, we had done a pretty good job at keeping that a secret, since the shock on his face seemed genuine. What? But how? And why am I just learning about it now? I need to pray for his soul. Well, I mean, if it was through the night, you were asleep, buddy. What? I'll wake you up, he dead. I tried to appease him with a wave of my hand, inviting him to sit back down, since he looked like he was about to get up. He was murdered. For the time being, we are keeping his death a secret so we can investigate without causing any sort of panic. It was the Master of Murmur's idea. He's convinced he'll be able to find the assassin more easily this way. It was not his idea, it was my idea. Oh my God. Ooh, we are conniving. Ooh, my goodness. Oh my Lord. Bro, why we lying? Why are we lying? Drowning in information, the high priest slumped into his chair and took in my half-truths while I assumed a saddened expression. It is truly a tragic situation. Keeping quiet and hiding my mourning is a very hard task for me. I know it's a lot to ask of you, but you need to keep this a secret. I want to do everything in my power to uncover the murderer, especially since I'm scared he could come after me. Once more, I was quite proud of the quivers in my voice, and my acting seemed to be effective since I saw a spark of compassion light up in his eyes. I understand now why the general was guarding your door like a common soldier. With a closed expression on my face, I nodded, searching for the right words. The first and main reason I've summoned you here is so that I could confide in you and ask you to pray for my departed father's soul. Of course, Your Majesty. I'll lock myself up in the great temple and dedicate myself to the task. My face still sad. I gave him a tight, grateful smile, but inside I felt relieved. His prayers should keep him busy enough that he wouldn't be tempted to reveal everything. Now I could move on to the true reason of his presence here. But before that, this saddens me, but I have another favor to ask of you. Of course, Your Grace. What is it? Well, Alden and I are afraid that all the upstarts across the kingdom will rush to the castle and try to usurp the throne as soon as my father's death is made public. In their greed, many forget that my line sits on the throne by the grace of the Four. So I'd like to send a letter to the Quadrator and have him support my coronation as well as reaffirm my legitimacy. Once more, he stayed silent, and I tried to hide my worry. I tried to hide my worry behind a veil of sadness. We could have used a different word for sadness. A veil of my grief, a veil of my sorrow. I hated that my plans depended on a single person, but I didn't have a choice. Only rulers and high priests could hope to quickly reach the ultimate leader of the cardinals, and I technically wasn't an empress yet. I understand. Yes, you're Magnus V's only legitimate child. The throne should be yours. That said, I don't know if the Quadrator will approve of your advent. Perhaps if you were married, your candidacy would seem less inappropriate. I felt my body tense up at his words, and it took all I had to conceal how irritated I was by this reminder. I knew I would be told such things. I had mentally prepared myself for it, but obviously it hadn't been enough. It's an issue, yes, and I'll do my best to find a fitting husband quickly, but you'll agree that I cannot entrust the throne of Chaldea to just anyone. I have plenty of suitors, but I need time to study each and every one of them. That's not something that can be done in just a couple of days or even weeks. In the meantime, we do need someone to lead the country and make sure it doesn't sink into chaos. If a regent were to be appointed, I'm afraid he might refuse to give the throne back to me and my husband, which would lead to the whole country which would lead the whole country to a bloodbath. No one wants to see another era of murderous plots like during Magnus III's time. You're right, Your Grace. We cannot let such tragedy befall us. I'll go write a letter to the Quadrator right away to express support for your coronation and explain our situation. Satisfied, I let out a sigh of relief. I thank you for your support, High Priest Robert. It means a lot to me. Swiftly, I opened one of the desk's drawers and pulled out a thin, sealed letter. While I was waiting for you, I humbly wrote a few words destined for the Quadrator. We've never met, and I hoped this would help him get to know me a little, as well as reassure him of my faith in the Four. I was thinking that perhaps you would be so kind as to add it to your own correspondence. Once more, he seemed to be caught off guard, but he smiled instantly and enthusiastically. Of course, Your Majesty. It's a great idea. Relieved, I gave him the letter in question while thanking him once more for his support and his help in these unprecedented times. I only hoped he didn't have the audacity to break the seal, because even if it did contain a few cliches on my virtues, the letter mostly made promises that could actually motivate the Quadrator. Ooh. Oh, okay, so this is what we put in the letter. I knew that gold made the world go round, so I promised a hefty donation to the Great Temple of Meriden. Knowing his taste for luxury, I knew he wouldn't be insensitive to a few more riches. Ooh, so if we're treating this guy like maybe like the Pope, I don't know if we want to like put money on the table. Being truly pious myself, I had been corresponding with the eminent scholars from Chaldea and Meridian. And by sheer luck, I had discovered that two of them were conmen. Oh, conmen, yes. I was sure that, should I reveal their names, the Quadrator would see that my faith was sincere and that I was happy to be of service to him in complete secrecy. I like this one more. I definitely like this one more. I don't know how we have this much. Oh, I see. Okay, so I have 8 coins and I have 20 cups. Let's do the cups. Bloop. Shit. But, fuck. If he breaks the seal and he reads that, I don't know if this guy actually knows that. So he might learn something about me that he can like hold over my head. No, fuck. I'm gonna have to kill this man. Oh boy. In the past, keeping my mouth shut and letting these charlatans run free had been quite hard to stomach. But Marjorie had taught me that it was important to play my cards in the right order. Today, I could only thank her for her advice, which would allow me to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. To play with a man as powerful as the Quadrator, I wasn't talking about his possible connection to the gods, but his actual worldly power, was a risky move, but it was all well worth it. The dice had been cast. I could only hope for things to go well, and prepare the field for my conquest of the Chaldean nobility. Okay, day 8. Evening. We've met like 2 people I think we can possibly date. Alexander, so like the dude, the guard dude, and the spy dude. I don't think we can date Robert. But if we can kill Robert, I might kill him. Despite my desire to act, for the time being, I couldn't do anything but wait for the Quadrator's answer. Even if the letter had come that very morning, Meridian was very far away, and I knew I couldn't hope for an answer for at least 3 days. I had to chomp at the bit and act naive. My first thought was to mingle with the court so that I could clear my head, but then pretending that nothing was up and feeding rumors to justify my father's absence was more frustrating than doing nothing. Even Marjorie's presence irritated me. Despite her advanced age, as soon as she turned her inquisitive eyes onto me, I had the impression she managed to perceive the truth. And so I had taken refuge in the library, hoping to read a little. But in all honesty, even if I managed to unscramble a few words, my thoughts were far away, and my mind was replaying the events of the previous night, which would have been day 7. So what happened last night? Asking myself again and again if I had done the right thing. Your Grace? Your Grace, forgive me for bothering you during your readings, but we have more news about the witness. Despite the mystery he shrouded his words in, I knew exactly what he was referencing, and that was enough to pull me out of my boring book. With a glance, I surveyed the library to make sure we were fully alone before motioning for him to continue. I'm listening. What's going on? Just as I feared, the few gold coins we gave the servants weren't enough. God damn it! See, we should just kill them. We should just fucking kill them. But I didn't want to kill them because I was trying to be a good person. This is what happens when you're a good person. You should just kill them. You should just kill them. Fuck! Just as I feared, the few gold coins we gave the servants weren't enough. One of them, a soldier named Brunhin, has understood the value of his secret and is now trying to blackmail us. They should have fucking killed them. It was indeed a possibility I hadn't considered. To my greatest shame, I didn't think they would be cunning enough to know the value of this important secret. We can consider ourselves lucky that he still hasn't tried to sell that information to any of our political enemies. I'm sure the Baron of Levallois, for example, would have paid a good price to get his hands on it. I gather we don't have many options. We don't indeed. Either we pay up or we make sure to shut him up, and for good this time. I would have liked to protest, but seeing how my own methods had failed, I couldn't well take offense when he offered such a drastic solution. The only upside is that if we pay up, he won't be able to indefinitely blackmail us. In a few days, I'll have the Quadrator's answer and my father's death will be officially announced. His words won't have any value from there on out. It's one of the positives, indeed. Even if I'm wary of everything he could demand in a few days, people tend to be excessively greedy. Couldn't we just lock him up until things go back to normal? Yes. Hello? We're the Empress. Like, take your fucking Gestapo-ass police and lock him up. It's an option, but he tried to rally all the guards and the other prisoners in the dungeon if we arrest him under false pretense. It's not false pretense. And if we were to kidnap him when we release him, I doubt that'll be great optics for us. Nobody would believe him. Like, bro, you're crazy. Why? When he laid it out like that, in fairness, it was obviously a bad idea. Only my first two options remained, and none of them really appealed to me. Is he asking a lot? Like I said, he's understood the worth of his secret, but fortunately for us, he's not used to the same order of magnitude we are. The sum he requests is still reasonable. But once again, I would advise you against it. Showing weakness at this stage could turn out to be fatal in the long run. Sighing, I took the time to think about my decision before sharing it. Oh, we're killing him. This bro, this is his last life. Sorry, bro, not sorry. You're dead. Try being a pacifist, but since he wants trouble, since he wants to double cross me, I don't have a choice. You're right, Alden. If I start letting people blackmail me, I'll never be respected. Or, I hope I won't regret it, but I don't think stacking up bodies is the solution. Pay him what he asked for, but make sure he understands that if he tries to abuse our kindness, he'll be made to regret it. After due consideration, I think this poor man just doesn't know what he's up against. Send in a few agents to remind him of his place. That should be enough to calm him down and make him forget his demands. Oh no, we can't leave him alive. Are you serious? No, girl. I have 10 swords, 8 coins, 10 scrolls. Yeah. Like, I can't, bro. You've already shown me that you can't be trusted. So I just can't keep you alive. This is what happens when you're too fucking greedy. Like, sorry. Choose to kill someone to solve a problem. Okay. That's the achievement I just got. God damn it. Alden approved, clearly glad that I finally decided to use his methods. You're doing the right thing, Your Grace. I'll go inform the Master of Murmurs of your decision, and I'll make sure everything is done with the utmost discretion. I hope so. If it came to be known that I assassinate my subjects, that wouldn't be the best advertisement for my rule. Worry not. Consider this problem solved. I'm counting on you, Alden. In lieu of an answer, he bowed once more before exiting the room, his attitude as professional as ever, leaving me alone with my doubts. Ooh, knight. I've only met 2 people, though. Like, I don't know how many romance targets there are in this game, but I've only met 2 guys. It was already late when the Master of Murmurs knocked on my door to inform me of the evolution of this situation. Oh my god. Oh no. He's coming to my room, dude. Oh boy. Oh boy. Despite the late hour, I hadn't managed to close my eyes at all, as I anxiously waited to hear about the assassination. I knew well that these methods were common in the murky waters in which I now swam, but it was my first time, and I couldn't shake off the feeling that there were so many variables that could turn against me. The Master of Murmurs took his time to start talking, and I lost my patience. So, how'd it go? Well, we can say we reached our goal. The blackmailer is dead. Unfortunately, God damn it. Unfortunately, he had the foresight to bring reinforcements, which jumped on our agents. We managed to overcome them and eliminate all witnesses, but we lost 2 worthy men in the fight. Relieved that the whole ordeal was over, I sympathized with the Master of Murmurs. Why did that guard have to be so greedy? Things would have been far easier if he hadn't tried to take advantage of the situation. I'm truly sorry about your men. We'll throw a ceremony in their honor when all this is over. The Master of Murmurs shook his head with a melancholic smile. Don't worry, Your Majesty. They were the sort of men who live in the shadows. They'd have hated a public remembrance. On that note, if you'll allow me, I have many tasks left to accomplish. Yes, of course. He bowed, and I remained alone with myself, and I couldn't stop wondering at victory and how bitter it sometimes tasted. Okay, we skipped 2 more days. Now it's day 10. Your Grace, this is a little premature, but should you become... I'm sorry. Hold up. What do you mean, should I? Why is it now should? I'm Magnus's fucking legitimate heir. There is no should. I am. We're just waiting for the fucking Pope to get back and be like, yeah, girl, you got this. Your Grace, this is a little premature, but should you become Empress, you will need to manage the kingdom's policies. I'd like to make sure that you're ready for such a task. Should. One can always learn more. As you already know, the kingdom's policies influence how your subjects, noble or otherwise, view you, but also what resources will be available to us. You can set tax rates for the people and the nobility. As you may have guessed, the higher they are, the less happy the people will be, but the faster the coffers will fill up. But there are many other things, much more subtle. For example, you can decide how open to trade our borders should be, or which sectors of the economy you'd like to focus on. We must also consider how to protect ourselves from our neighbors, especially bearing in mind Vargas's warlike inclinations. But maintaining an army is very, very expensive. As such, investing in diplomacy may offer better results in the long run. Damn, this game's about to get stupid complex. And finally, we have to manage the priests. Their influence on the people is immense, and they have infrastructures all over the nation. Offerings made to them are never wasted. What about if I just take one of the priests as a consort? Can I just do that? I can have my husband and a consort, right? I can have as many consorts as I want. Can I make that into a law? Can that be the first thing that I do? And that's it. I have the priest consort, the military consort, the other fucking person consort. We're all sleeping together. It's fine. They don't do anything until I talk to them about it. We're good. Perfect. That's it. I think it's a great plan, guys. I'm just saying. We've set up regular periods of time during which we collect earnings, but there will be a short delay before the consequences of any changes you make can be seen. Oh, the story alternates with phases of gameplay, which are triggered between 2 scenes. During these phases, you will be able, among other things, to modify your kingdom's general policies. Games will be distributed at the end of the gameplay phase. Is that clearer now? Yes. Yes, even if it's all very theoretical. That's true, but the best way to approach the subject in a more concrete manner is to look into it yourself. Even if I'll only be doing this work after my coronation, may I try my hand at it now? I'm sure there are things that I'd like to change in my father's policies. Ooh. Okay, so the people, I can't hover over these, it doesn't do anything. So I have 15 people, maybe? All right, taxes. If I make taxes high, I get minus. Okay, so right now I have a total of 15 people, and I'm at minus 10. But I get plus 3 money. So I guess every turn I'm making 8. If I have low taxes, the people like me, but then I'm not making no money. We'll just do moderate. Economy. Your economy will be focused on the exploitation of raw resources. So we have goods plus 2, people minus 5, and money plus 1. If we focus on crafting, then we get money plus 2, and then goods plus 1. And then farming is goods plus 3, people plus 5. I think I want to do farming. I'm okay with that. We'll maintain our army. What if we expand it? No, I need to get some money coming in. We'll maintain our army. You'll help finance the good parts of the temples and academies. I do want my population to be literate, but the people do not like. But that's minus 3 money. No, we're just gonna keep it moderate for right now. Small taxes are levied on products traded between countries. Oh wow. Free trade gives me plus 3 money. Plus 5 nobility, but minus 2 goods. What if I do restricted? Heavy taxes. Money plus 1. That does not help my money situation at all. So right now I'm at money plus 2. Alright, my diplomacy is cordial. You'll send at least 1 ambassador to each neighboring country. Maybe just do minimum. Then my nobility goes down, but I'm fine with that, honestly. And if we do active, I lose my money. Let's do minimum. Where can I get money from, though? Do high taxes. So if we do high taxes, my people and my nobility are still good. Money's coming in, religion. I think this is good. I'm gonna do high taxes for a little bit, or maybe until at least the end of the I guess they're calling them scenes. Yep, confirm. Oh wait, what if I just do cordial? Do I still okay? We can do cordial because I'm still getting plus 1 money. As long as I'm getting some money to come in, that's good. If I just dismantle my army, though, I can get money. No, we'll just maintain it. It's fine. I mean, I guess also if I did this, if I went like resources or even crafts, that'd be good. But I'd rather do farming. I feel like farming is just better. All right, confirm. That sounds excellent to me. Oh. So now we're at day 15. Your Grace, Your Grace. Dawn had barely risen when I heard a kerfuffle at the door, and I immediately recognized Robert's voice. I got up with a groan and quickly slipped on a dress, trying to make myself presentable before opening the door. High Priest, what's going on? I tried to remain as neutral as possible, but I was burning up with a mix of anxiety and excitement because I had a solid guess as to what this was about. The Quadrator, he answered, Your Majesty. Nervously, he handed me 2 letters bearing the recognizable seal of His Holiness. Your name is written on them. I didn't dare open them, Your Highness. Bro, I don't believe that shit. Exhilarated, I looked at the 2 pieces of paper that were about to seal my future. One seemed official, while the other was explicitly for my eyes only. I would have liked to be alone when reading them both, but clearly, it had taken Robert all he had not to break the wax seal on the official letter, and now he stared at me impatiently. My throat was dry as I grabbed a paper cutter to open the correspondence, and my heart was beating so fast I had the impression everyone in the room could hear it. Lady Elaine of Terranfell, daughter of Magnus V of Terranfell, the Fierce, Emperor of Chaldea. The 4 have spoken and have recognized you as the legitimate heir of the crown of Chaldea, by virtue of your blood and despite your gender. By this decree, I convey the words of the gods. May your governance be respected by all, the just and the pious. May your rule prosper and never stray from the 4's faith. Vermeer Quadrator by the grace of the 4. All right, I'm official. I was shaking so hard I felt my legs give in, and I had to sit on my bed so I didn't fall over. I had done everything in my power to make this moment happen, but now that it was upon me, I was engulfed by all the emotions I had accumulated in the past week. Robert seemed to understand me, and he bowed to leave me a few long seconds so I could take in the Quadrator's words. Finally, he spoke up. That's marvelous, Your Majesty. I knew the four would acknowledge your legitimacy. Almost timidly, I nodded and tried to recover my usual composure. With the Quadrator's support, my coronation was sure to happen, but that didn't mean I was rid of enemies or other contenders. I couldn't let my guard down yet. Yes, the time has come for everyone to know the truth. Gather the nobles in the castle at dawn and prepare the pigeons. He nodded, a grave expression on his face. Yes, we can't wait any longer. The secret of your father's death couldn't have been kept indefinitely, in any case. It was true that his absence had been going on for a while, and a possible illness worried people just as much as a possible death. It was fortunate that these letters hadn't taken too long to arrive. I'll be there. I need to finish getting ready. Of course, Your Majesty. I'll have the bells rung, but at such an early time, I don't suppose we can gather everyone in less than an hour. I approved with a polite nod, and soon I watched him leave and close the door. Finally, on my own, I collapsed on the bed and let myself gloat. I whooped in pure childish joy as I read the Quadrator's letter over and over again. I knew that I had plenty of challenges ahead of me, but this was my first victory against tradition, and I intended to savor it for as long as I could. Only after a few long minutes had passed did I decide to open the second letter, which was addressed to me personally. Lady Elaine, your message came to me as a surprise. Even if I'm always wary of gossip, I've still requested that inquisitors investigate the people you've mentioned. To my astonishment, your allegations were found to be correct, and the impostors have been stripped of their titles of scholars as well as their riches. It warms my heart to know that the throne of Chaldea is in the hands of a pious and clairvoyant empress. I am personally praying for your rule's prosperity. Vermeer Quadrator by the grace of the 4. I need like a quick rundown on how people view witches in this area, in this game, because that could have been a very loaded threat. But I guess we'll see. Happy with my decision, I sighed and carefully put the letter away into my desk. Pretty promises were easy to forget. I could perhaps use the parchment to remind him of his support one day, or to show to some reluctant noble just how popular I was with one of the most powerful men on the continent. In any case, I believed that my actions had managed to sway him, and I was quite proud of that. Now it was the court I had to sway, and I knew this wasn't going to be an easy task. Oh my god. Fuck. 8 more days. I think we're like 3 weeks after her dad died. Make sure not to overexert yourself, Elaine. You're spending your days locked up in this office. You should get out of it and clear your head. Come take a walk with this old lady. Oh, save. Nope. Back. I had left the door open. Oh, who is that? Oh, she's beautiful. Is this my mom? No, I think my mom's dead. Is this Marjorie? This is Marjorie. I had left the door open, and although I hadn't heard Marjorie come over to me, I wasn't surprised, since her perfume, which she applied too liberally, had filled the room. I almost felt nostalgic for a moment. Contrary to what she seemed to suggest, I wasn't here for pleasure. I was overwhelmed. Invitations, solicitations, promises. I'd spent the last 3 days flattering Calady and nobility to ensure that nothing would interfere with the coronation in 3 weeks' time, and I still had a lot to do. Oh, perhaps you can fool everyone else, but I know you're far from being an old lady, Marjorie. My reply made her laugh, a hoarse and joyous sound that belied what I had just said. Oh, I still have the same quick wit I had when I was 20, but I'm afraid my whining bones disagree with you, sweetheart. Come on, don't be cruel. You already broke my poor heart when you didn't let me in on the secret. I put my quill down with a sigh and closed the inkwell, hoping its contents would not dry out. She had taught me many things, and even if I had grown stronger than her in a few areas, it was obvious that she still used guilt like no one else. She almost made me feel bad for hiding my father's death from her. You know full well I didn't have a choice. The information had to be disclosed to as few people as possible. I know, sweetheart, but I would have liked to be there for you. These past few days mustn't have been easy. No, they weren't indeed. As promised, I quietly walked by Marjorie's side through the garden, but we couldn't take one step before some servant or noble offered me their condolences. I'm so tired of pretending to be sad. I know your father was a flawed man. She paused, looking at me as she seemed to hesitate to say something. I looked at her, intrigued. There was so much contempt in her voice when she spoke of his flaws that she obviously knew something about him, something I probably didn't. But no matter what anyone says, he was your family, your blood. You shouldn't hate him like that. It's not healthy, especially now that he's dead. I sensed from her tone that I'd get nothing more from her, but at least not today, and I didn't insist, draping myself once again in my indignity. No, that's too easy. You can't just die and expect all your mistakes will be forgiven. It's not as if he chose to die, and so it doesn't change anything. She sighed, and I decided to change the subject before I had to listen to another lecture on the importance of family bonds. But since we're speaking of forgiveness, I need your help. Suspicious, she frowned, although she kept walking calmly. Oh, what is this? Oh. It was trying to tell me that my PC's not covered or whatever the fuck. Suspicious, she frowned, although she kept walking calmly between the flower beds. I would like it if you gave me Fear Castle. That old dilapidated fortress? What for? Pretending to admire some insects that were flying around the planters, I hesitated for a second. I needed the fortress to buy the Faram's loyalty, but Marjorie held a deep hatred for them. I didn't like lying to her, but I couldn't run the risk that she'd refuse my request. Oh, fuck. Ooh. Okay. So the problem is that we don't know why Marjorie doesn't like the Farams. Like, is it something like, oh, the girl made a better pie than I did? Or is it like, no, their son killed my son type of thing? Like, what? I know. Okay, I know. Let's see. Okay. Do I want to keep things vague or do I want to tell her the truth? You know what? I think I should tell her the truth because I didn't tell her about my dad dying. And apparently I'm very close to this woman. So let's tell her the truth and just like be like, well, if you want me to forgive my dad, you need to forgive these people and give me this fucking fortress. I hope they eventually have stats. Like when this game comes out, I hope they have stats. Like 84% of people decide to tell Marjorie the truth or some shit. Kind of like they did with Telltale. Oh, I would love that. I need it because I'm going to give it back to the Faram. Upon hearing my words, Marjorie froze, trembling with anger. You want to give it back to those vile traitors? Do you know how many men died storming it? Do you know what this fortress cost me? I knew she would react that way. Even though the war had ended about 20 years ago, she still bore painful memories of it. Yes, I know all that, but it all took place before my birth. It's time we move forward and reconcile with Faram, lest we repeat the mistakes of the past. I don't want another Faram revolt under my rule. I need their support for my coronation, and to obtain that support, I need Fear Castle. You know just as well as I do that it's only a ruin now, an old pile of rubble left on a steep and barren land. It's nothing more than a symbol. My old aunt grumbled for a few long minutes, but she was forced to concede my point, even if it cost her. Do what you want, but believe me, once you become Empress, I'll call in the favor. Thank you, Marjorie. I knew I could count on you. Relieved, I finally let out the breath I hadn't realized I had been holding. Knowing the affection Marjorie held for me, I knew that I'd end up convincing her, but as I had a meeting with the Faram heir in 4 days, I didn't have a lot of room for errors. With one less issue weighing on my heart, I continued my walk with a bounce in my step, forgetting for a few minutes that the court's problems and plots. Okay. Spring, day 22. Are we gonna meet? Ooh. Oh no, that's the Master of Murmurs. I'm pretty sure. He looks different without like his cloak on. No, it's not the Master of Murmurs. Okay. Yeah. Can I romance this bro? This was my first time ever meeting Theodore of Faram. I had heard him described as a cold and distant man, but I still didn't expect him to be so glacial. I waited for him to deign reply to my greeting, as courtesy demanded, but the silence between us was deafening. He only stood there, staring at me, impassive, without even so much as a good morning or a nice to meet you, while I had to keep smiling to not lose face. I had better things to do than engage in a staring contest. Consequently, I swallowed my pride and gestured to one of the chairs around the staff table, where a large map of Chaldea had been laid out. I imagine you must be tired after such a long trip. Please, sit down. I thought he was going to stay standing there, but he did finally sit down without another word, while I took a seat not too far from him. Like I said in my letter, I'd like for the Terranfell and the Faram to reconcile. The tensions between our two families have lasted long enough, and I imagine your sudden desire to make peace has nothing to do with your upcoming coronation. The Montliet are eating out of your hand, but the Volador will never support you, which means you very much need us. Coming as he was from a lineage with a somewhat barbaric reputation, he had done a fairly clever analysis of the situation, but I didn't let that stop me. Very much need is a bit strong. Should I remind you that I have the support of the Order, and by extension the Four? The people will follow me. That said, I do wish for my coronation to go as smoothly as possible, and the rest of my rule as well. I'd like to avoid bloodshed altogether if possible, and I fear that the ancestral enmity between our two families might lead us to just that. Neither you nor I were born when the Faram revolt took place. It's up to us to decide if we want to perpetuate this cycle of conflict or if we want to build something new. He took on a thoughtful expression and observed me with renewed interest. It's easy for you to forget. You're on the side of the victors. You haven't been rehashing your resentment for 20 years. Precisely. Wouldn't it be easier for you to forget as well, especially if it's been haunting you for that long? Even if we were inclined to consider your offer of a reconciliation, how could we trust you? I won't give you a history lesson, but that revolt didn't happen for nothing. He was following me exactly where I was leading, and it took me some time, or some effort, to repress a smile and keep a businesslike countenance. Firstly, I am not the same person as my father or my grandfather. It's unfair to distrust me as a result of their actions. And secondly, I'm ready to make a gesture of goodwill if the Faram are ready to make one as well. I'm listening. If you openly support my ascent to the throne, I'm ready to return your family, the Fear Castle Citadel, and the lands that go with it. This time, I savored the true surprise in his eyes when I handed him the deed I had taken the time to prepare. As you know, it was confiscated after the revolt, since it's located at the strategic crossroads between Tyrionfell and Monteliet. I thought it would be a strong gesture to return it to you, but also quite a symbol of trust. After glancing at the signed page, Theodore looked at me once more, with defiance this time. There's no doubt that my family will appreciate the gesture. I was already basking in my victory when he continued, his voice cold. But as for me, it only makes me see, that you're one of, But as for me, it only makes me see that you're one of those politicians ready to use every dirty trick in the book if it will get you what you want. I had been warned that you're the rightful heir of that snake who used to lead the Monteliet, but now I'm seeing it with my own eyes. So yes, indeed, we will accept your offer and support your coronation, because unlike you, we stick to our word. But you should know you're not fooling me. I'll remain at the palace to make sure you don't stab us in the back as soon as you've achieved your goals. Oh, we can romance him. This is the enemies to lovers romance for sure. Okay, so Alex is the golden retriever romance. The Master of Murmurs is your kind of dark romance, gray, morally gray, MC, and then this is the enemies to lovers. Ooh boy. In the end, his analysis of the situation, or indeed of my character, wasn't as clever as I had thought. I was ambitious, there was no denying that, but I wasn't shy about it either. But my desire to make peace was just as sincere. Stay at the castle if you wish. Dukes are welcome here at any time, but you'll get eaten alive by the court if you always speak your mind so plainly, my lord. He shrugged condescendingly before getting up. Oh, I'm very capable of defending myself, Majesty. I just choose not to use the same venom as you do. That doesn't mean I don't know how to protect myself from its sting. No one liked being called a snake, but even if it was unpleasant to be treated with such hostility by someone to whom I had never done anything, I had gotten what I wanted. I didn't wish to risk making him change his mind by starting an argument. Time will tell. I do hope you'll change your mind about me, but as long as the Faram uphold their end of the bargain, you're free to think whatever you like. Don't say that as if you're doing me a favor, Your Grace. Even empresses don't have dominion over people's thoughts. And in order to keep me from having the last word of our pointless sparring, he immediately turned on his heel and slammed the door. Furious, I was engaged in deep breathing exercise. I think it should be A. I was engaged in a deep breathing exercise when Alden walked in. How did things go with Theodore of Faram? I shrugged with a sigh. I suppose it was all right. At least, the Faram should support my coronation. That's all that matters. How about you? Did you manage to convince Leon? Who the fuck is Leon? Who's Leon? Man, if this Leon dude turns out to be blonde, blue-eyed, and fucking white, I'm going to scream. As you suspected, he's not inclined to support you. Apparently, he and his brother fear that Chaldea will become a second Assyria. Assyria. I raised my eyes to the sky, not hiding my exasperation at these words, as if it were enough for a woman to lead the empire for us to become a matriarchy. Have you at least convinced him not to openly oppose the coronation? Yes. As you suggested, I implied that a civil war wouldn't be good for business, and that you were easy to manipulate. What? Huh? Was that enough? Yes and no. The man's smarter than I thought. He took this as an opportunity to claim the position of treasurer. Treasurer. Look at him go. Since he believes you're incompetent, he thinks that's the only way for him to ensure that the country stays on the right track, and that the Volador's economical interests are preserved. Upset, I bit my lips while pondering the implications of such a nomination. I don't have to agree. Like, sure, he could sit there and say he's the treasurer, and then I just tell him no. Like, I'm the fucking empress. This guy's not gonna sit here and walk into my house and be like, yeah, I live here now. Like, no, the fuck you don't, bitch. What? Huh? No one nominated him. He nominated himself. I didn't nominate him. What is this? We say no. I didn't want him to stand in my way at every council meeting, but there was no valid reason for me to refuse him this privilege either. What the valid reason is because I said so. Because I don't want this. Like, what? I imagine before asking for that position, he encouraged the current treasurer to retire. That's correct. A pretty house by the seaside is waiting for him, and now he can't wait to be gone. I imagine we don't have a choice then. I'll summon Leon tomorrow and pretend to be a naive ingenue, that's a French word, who's happy to let him take on big responsibilities. I sighed heavily, and Alden stepped toward me with a discreetly amused smile. Are you sure you'll manage? Manage? Playing the easily influenced ingenue? It's one of those. I sighed, offering him a reassuring smile. It would not be fun having tea with such a conservative man, but there was nothing insurmountable about it. Oh, don't worry about me. I can play dumb when I need to. I've spent my whole life appearing less dangerous than I really am. I should be able to pretend just this once. He might have some nasty surprises down the line, however. He nodded with a gleam of pride in his eyes. I trust you then. Bro. Who else are we romancing? Like, there has to be more than just like two. Okay, there's three guys. Do I not get like any? Are there no female options? I'm confused. Are there no like non-binary options? Your Grace, news of your nomination to the throne has spread quickly. We've received a letter addressed to you from the Queen Maeva of Isra. Queen Maeva of Isra. My respects, Empress of Chaldea. I wished to write to you so I could congratulate you on your recent nomination to the throne, as well as offer my condolences for your father's death. Assuming power is a heavy responsibility, but I have been told that you are very capable, and I know Chaldea is in good hands. Chaldea and Isra have always maintained solid diplomatic relations. I hope that they will continue, nay, prosper under your rule. Up until now, the matriarchs have always been opposed to non-commercial negotiations, but your nomination has made them curious. We dare to believe that in your presence, my emissaries and myself will cease to be subjected to the patronizing condescension that your predecessors invariably displayed, and that made my country's past rulers so wary of further interactions. 1 second, guys. I just got a text message. Sorry, I'm texting my sister. Okay. Made my country's past rulers so wary of further interactions. Right. The gods whispered to me that your ascension to the throne signals the dawn of a new era for the continent. Therefore, I wish to support you as much as I can. With the matriarch's assent, I have decided to mandate an emissary whose role it will be to liaise between our two nations. Her name is Aisha Isabis. She is an exceptional woman who I hope will be welcomed into your palace as she deserves. With all my sympathy, Maeva, Queen of Assyria. She sounds delightful. She uses a lot of big words, though. That's wonderful news. I'll need as many allies as possible during my rule. Indeed, diplomacy is a delicate art, but it's fundamental for Chaldea's prosperity. You'll need to woo the neighboring countries and ensure their goodwill toward us. But we'll talk about diplomacy is not yet available in this demo. Okay, but we'll talk about that later. For now, we have a coronation to organize. Do I get to organize it? Day 36. Oh, is this the coronation? Oh, look, I look awesome. The big day had finally come. Impatient and nervous, I paced my bedroom while checking my hair and my outfit for the umpteenth time. Nothing was easy, as per usual. I was supposed to display poise, elegance, and grandeur while remaining humble. All right, then. Despite all that, I felt ready and dignified, and I only waited to hear from Alexander, who would escort me since my father wasn't in a state to do so. No shit. No shit, he's not in a state to do so. Time was passing at an infuriatingly slow pace when finally he knocked and walked into the room, clad in his ceremonial attire. That armor and the pompous cape that went with it didn't suit him, and I suppressed a smile when I saw him squeezed into it. Ready, Your Grace? Almost timidly, I nodded while he politely bowed to me and then let me pass in front of him. Then he followed suit, respectfully walking one step behind. Her Grace, Elaine de Terrenfell, Princess of Chaldea, Duchess of Terrenfell, Lady of Vermont, blessed by Amatera. I closed my eyes and savored this title that I was hearing for the last time. When the herald would announce me next, I would be Empress of Chaldea. That's a lot of... Can I romance this, bro? Who's him? Who's him? Hello, who's him? I didn't remember having ever seen the throne room this packed. Clearly, when I had been told that the entire castle had gathered here, it hadn't been an exaggeration. To try and hide my nervousness, I walked at a slow pace, my head held high, my eyes leveled at the throne. But my curiosity slowly got the better of me, and while I tried to remain as dignified as I could, I let my gaze wander discreetly in search of familiar faces. Alden, of course, stood right next to my throne, his face impassive, but his eyes bright enough that I could see the pride reflected in them. Robert was there too, my future crown already held in his hands. He did his best to appear as imposing as his function required him to be. The nobles section, I recognized Leon. Oh, that's Leon. Ooh. He's now my treasurer. Okay, wait. He's the one who nominated himself to be my treasurer. Fuck. I was gonna tell him no, but now I see him and I'm like, well, maybe we could talk about it. In the nobles section, I recognized Leon of Volador, surrounded by his family, conversing with other nobles who were vaguely familiar to me. To my surprise, I also spotted Theodore, leaning against a pillar, his gloomy aura seeming to hold people at bay, so that he wasn't drowning in unknown faces. As I passed by her, Marjorie gave me a smile, and I felt her perfume reach me, calming me despite its loud scent. Finally, the last step stretched before me, and I suddenly realized that I couldn't hear the crowd's hubbub anymore. The only sound was my heart beating in my temples. You could say the blood rushing in my ears, but sure. Ceremoniously, I knelt in front of this throne that was still forbidden to me. Soon, I had cause to praise whomever had the brilliant idea to place a small cushion under my knees. The blessings were proceeding at an infuriatingly slow pace. I listened to them with only half an ear, but I still displayed my most serious and focused face to honor the solemnity of this ceremony. The day before, Robert had asked me if I wanted to celebrate tradition by taking the name of one of my predecessors, or if I'd rather start my own dynasty. Oh, we're starting our own fucking dynasty. What? Oh. Your reigning name will be Melisandre II. Huh. Or I keep my name and I'll be Elaine first of my name. We're keeping my name. I understood the importance of traditions, but I was much too proud of who I was to give up my name, my identity. I wanted to carry it with pride for as long as I would rule. I didn't know the sermon by heart, but I knew it would soon be ending, since the whole place seemed to grow livelier. With each passing second, both the crowd and Robert's voice vibrated with renewed excitement, until the key moment came. I closed my eyes and braced myself for the weight of the surprisingly light crown that he delicately placed upon my head. Rise up, Elaine the First de Terranfell, Empress of Chaldea, first of her name, Duchess of Terranfell, Lady of Vermont, chosen by the Four and blessed by Amatera. You shall bow no longer, since from this day until your death, in the name of the gods, I entrust you with the charge of guiding your subjects and making Chaldea shine bright for decades to come. Slowly, I rose and turned around to sit on that throne that had been meant for me. Then I opened my eyes and looked at the crowd. It was suddenly quiet, and an almost religious silence settled in for a few seconds. Long live Empress Elaine the First. Empress Elaine, yeah. Elaine the First. Alexander's voice resounded next to me, oddly loud, and as it shattered this almost dreamlike moment, cheers arose from all sides in a spectacular chaos. The general enthusiasm was contagious, and I caught myself smiling and waving at the crowd with a bit too much vigor. Oh, and so this is the night of my coronation. Do I get to smooch somebody? The party was in full swing, and if I was still beaming, my head was starting to hurt with the incessant solicitations of people come to pay their respects. Maybe this should be even though, and even though I was still beaming. You should empty this glass into a flower pot and ask one of the servants to pour you grape juice instead. Or maybe I had too much wine. If I was being honest, I couldn't remember how many times my glass had been refilled, but one thing I knew, it had never stayed empty. Even if Marjorie was probably right, I pouted. Come on, Marjorie. I'm not allowed to have a bit of fun. It's my coronation day after all. She shook her head with a tender smile. You can't do this precisely because it's your coronation day, sweetheart. Oh, 1 second. Okay, it was just the mailman. Sorry about that. You can't do this precisely because it's your coronation day, sweetheart. Some people might be subtler about it than others, but everyone is watching you and judging you. She was right, and I knew it. I had let myself relax perhaps a bit too much, carried away by my enthusiasm. That acknowledgement didn't stop me from heaving a deep sigh of despair. Well, I didn't come here to coddle you. I know you're perfectly capable of managing the situation. I just wanted to officially congratulate you. No one deserves this title more than you, and you'll make an incredible empress. Her face sparkled with pride and affection, and I felt my heart melt under her praise. Her opinion had always mattered to me, and I felt myself go back to the little girl I once was, who always sought her approval. I hesitated for an instant, but finally I let myself gently hug her, making sure not to spill my glass on her in the process. Thank you, Marjorie. Thank you for everything. She kindly stroked my hair. If this woman dies or gets assassinated, I'm gonna be so pissed. She kindly stroked my hair and stayed and I stayed in her embrace for a few moments, just long enough to regain control of my emotions, which were threatening to make me cry. She gently patted my back and remind me of my duties, and I finally let go of her, my face now wearing a more neutral expression. Go on, sweetheart. I won't keep you any longer. People are queuing to talk to you. She was right. As much as they tried to hide it, many people stood nearby, waiting for an opportunity to pounce on me as soon as I'd be free. The quickest to the mark was a young woman I had never seen before. One look at the pretty dreadlocks she sported, decorated with small golden jewels, told me her background. Magnificent coronation, Your Grace. Her melodious accent convinced me I was right, and I flashed her a courteous smile. Thank you, Lady Asha, are you not? She seemed surprised for a second, then her face lit up. Well, I'm flattered you recognized me before I could even introduce myself. I don't know who spoke of me to you, but I do hope they said good things. She gave a small laugh as if to brush off this pleasantry, which I knew had a much deeper meaning. After all, I had indeed heard a lot about her from both Queen Maeva, who had warmly recommended her to me, and from Robert, who had tried to paint her as an ungodly heathen and temptress the minute she had set foot in the capital. Oh, we didn't get that scene. Of course, your queen keeps showering you with praise. Then allow me to return her kindness and to tell you how fantastic Maeva is. She'll make a formidable ally. Her familiar way of talking about her ruler made me quirk an eyebrow, but I didn't mention it. After all, Assyrian customs were much different from ours, and her relationship with her queen was none of my concern. Mistress? Consort? Hello? Is this just about to be a whole ass polycule? I'm down. Hello? New reign, new era, let's go. Matriarchy, my left tit. As long as she didn't use the same casual tone while talking about Chaldean nobility, there would be no issue. In any case, I do hope Chaldea is to your liking, Lady Asha. Unfortunately, I still haven't had time to visit your beautiful land and taste your many specialties. Therefore, the question may be a bit premature. She gave me a smile, but it didn't reach her eyes, which made me see that her answer was an elegant way to not speak ill of the place without lying. Now that it was my castle and my nation, it did upset me a little, but I couldn't be mad at her for finding the place a bit drab. My father had never had a keen eye for interior design. I was about to ask her more futile questions when Robert stepped into the space between us. The gesture was overly rude, but his position allowed him to act in that manner, and I turned away from Asha to listen to what he had to say. Your Majesty, please forgive me for interrupting, but I must speak with you on a topic of the utmost importance. He barely hid the dirty look he gave Asha. She understood the message and gracefully curtsied. I'll go breathe some fresh air in the gardens if you'll excuse me, Your Majesty. I mentally took note of where to find her if I wanted to continue the conversation and bowed to her in lieu of goodbye. Then I focused my attention on Robert, wondering with some trepidation if something bad had happened. What's going on? Don't worry, Your Majesty. Nothing that would spoil your night. I just wanted to make sure that you were taking my warnings about the Assyrian diplomat seriously. Oh my god, you big baby. You big man-child. Are you fucking kidding me? Go find something to do. Get out of my face. Oh my god. I want you to stop talking to her because she's a fucking spy. Bro, go get a slice of cake and go to the other fucking side of the room. I do not want to see you in my space for the next 10 minutes at the very least. You man-child. Oh my god. I don't find her trustworthy at all. I had to hold back a sigh. It was quite distressing to see him go to such trouble only to interrupt my conversation with a foreign dignitary. Please be comforted. She wasn't inviting me to dance naked in the sea in honor of the snake goddess Sif. I had said that in a playful tone, hoping to lighten the mood, but he looked even more upset. You should take this issue at heart. These people are insidious. They seem nice. You let your guard down, and by the time you realize you've fallen into the trap of a witch, it's much too late. Bro, I got some bad news for you. I didn't have the patience to hear more of this, and I took an offended expression. I wasn't really religious, but that wasn't the point. Even if I had my doubts about the real existence of the gods, especially since I'd studied them, I knew the influence of the order and how powerful religion was in general. Unlike Alexander, I couldn't afford to openly proclaim my doubts or let anyone assume that I wasn't a good believer. Fortunately, I was very good at pretending to be offended. Do you believe my faith could be so easily shaken, High Priest? Taken aback, he immediately softened and apologized profusely. I relaxed in turn. I'm taking note of your worries, and I promise I'll be careful, but you must also understand that you simply cannot say such things about a foreign guest, especially not in public. This could have serious diplomatic consequences. He scowled once more, but didn't say a word, politely bowing instead. I understand, Your Grace. A short silence passed between us before he turned away, mumbling something about prayers he had to make. For the first time of the night, I found myself alone, and no one came to talk to me, perhaps for fear of getting caught in the fallout from this tense conversation. I enjoyed that respite and decided to go talk to... Who are my options? We're gonna go talk to Aisha. Okay, wait. Alexander is the guard. Theodore is the enemies to lovers. So I guess Asha's the other person. I can't romance the Master of Whispers? That sucks. Alright, Asha it is. I guess I could have go talk to Theodore. But bro, enemies to lovers, it's just, sometimes it just drags out so long that by the time they start liking each other, it's like, bro, are you sure? Are you quite positive that this is what you want to do? Like, he said you were worthless. And I know that's part of the trope and all that, but goddamn. Okay. Oh no! Oh, it got cold. Let me just preheat it. I was about to take a puff and my thing is not correct. Okay. I was very aware of how ironic it felt to meet up with Asha to continue our conversation. Robert's words buried in a deep, dark corner of my mind, as if they had never existed in the first place. Like she had mentioned, she was enjoying the fresh breeze in the gardens, and I had no trouble finding her. She was leaning against the balustrade of the gazebo, a gazebo. Casually, I came closer, and I leaned next to her, admiring the stars. I'm terribly sorry for that rude interruption, but one can't keep the gods waiting, as the saying goes. A little phrase was supposed to lighten the mood, but Aisha gave me an indecipherable look that piqued my curiosity. Forgive me. I know your customs, but some of them are very hard for me to grasp. You mean the fact that we have different gods? To my great surprise, she shook her head, making her hair dance around her. No, we have so many gods. I wouldn't be surprised if yours existed in some way in our pantheon. It's rather the concept of priests that baffles me. Gods are all-powerful beings. Why would they lend their voices to fallible humans? Exactly. If they have anything to say to anyone, our speakers directly go to the person in question, without the risky interference of a go-between. Clearly, I wasn't expecting that line of thinking, and my mind, fogged up as it was by alcohol, didn't help me find convincing arguments. That irritated me quite a bit, as I always disliked not having the final word. Aisha must have mistaken the nature of my contrariety, as she flashed me her most beautifully contrite smile. But I'm rambling. There are so many more interesting things to talk about, especially tonight. Like your magnificent coronation, or this delicious wine from the islands that you've been serving, for example. I usually wasn't one for small talk, but I couldn't get enough of her melodious accent, which emphasized her impeccable pronunciation. Almost by instinct, I swirled the contents of my wine glass, which I had been foolishly holding untouched since Marjorie had warned me. At least, this time it allowed me to get to know my interlocutor. I don't know what that is. You're right, it is good. It's of Assyrian import, isn't it? She swirled the wine around in her own glass, her gesture practiced and skillful, before taking a sip, her eyes closed. Yes, without a doubt. Black Castle, even. Half doubt, half impressed. How half doubtful, half impressed, I didn't hide my surprise. You can tell where it's from just like that? Yes. Before working for Queen Maeve, I was a trader in that field. In fact, my travels were the reason I discovered your culture and learned your language. Once more I looked at her, intrigued and impressed. You sail? Numerous superstitions made it so that women were unwelcomed on board of ships in Chaldaea. Just imagining her on the seas was breathtaking. Oh no, I don't have any seafaring skills. I'm incapable of reading a map or using a sextant. I leave that to the captain. I only take care of the products. Or rather, I used to only take care of the products. How impressive. You look as young as me, and yet you seem to have led such a more eventful life. My reply seemed to surprise her, and she tilted her head to the side, making the metal beads in her hair chime. I think you're a bit younger than I am, Your Grace. And besides, you're Empress. The title made me smile, almost despite myself, but it didn't entirely remove the melancholy from my voice. From today only, I could only guess the life that she had led, but I felt frustrated in comparison to have waited all these years in the shadows. All I had done was study and place the rare pawns at my disposal in the best way I could to prepare my coronation. Without the stroke of luck that had ended my father's life prematurely, I could have waited much longer. The scholars always said he was as healthy as a horse. Solemnly, she held out her glass to invite me to toast and looked me in the eye. But you'll rule for a great many years to come, and I'm glad to be here in Chaldaea to witness it, Majesty. She seemed sincere, and somehow her words managed to lighten my heart while our glasses clinked against one another. Okay, so I think this is what they meant. Like, you see how her hair is like now... Oh no, her hair is in dreads. I don't get it. Because they said like in the beginning, like sometimes the art won't match up. But all of the art has matched up so far, so I'm confused. She was right. Holding on to the past was useless. I had to look to the future now that I truly had the power to change it. And I'm glad to have you by my side as well, Aisha. I hope that the bonds between Assyria and Chaldaea will be strengthened thanks to your presence. I'll do my best, Your Grace. There was a short silence while we sized each other up and happily recognized in each other the same wit and the same strength of character. Finally, she lifted the glass to her lips and drained it with the sensual sort of elegance. I set aside Marjorie's advice for a second and followed suit. This party was, after all, held in my honor, and I wanted to savor a good glass of wine in good company under the stars. Bro, we're still going? This has to be the last day. Your Grace, as you surely know, an essential task that comes with your role as a ruler is to listen to your subjects' petitions. Oh, let me make sure that we're not going to get interrupted by an ad. Oh, we have 6 minutes. Okay. I don't want you guys to get caught in an ad, to be completely honest with you. So I'm just going to end stream here. It looks like... And with that, this chapter comes to a close. Thank you so much for being here and listening in. I really hope you enjoyed the story. If you'd like to follow this route through to completion, check the description for the full playthrough. And if you'd like to return, subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter. But don't worry too much, Inkling. I won't turn the page without you.